Hello everyone, welcome back to PC Guys Off-Grid-Cabin, where the work is never done, but we're doing it just for fun. So for today, we are working on installing this RV stove. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few little tricks and tips to hook one of these things up so that A, you do it safe, and B, you don't just blow yourself up. And I'm going to try to make your life a little easier in the process. Now, when we do these videos, we try to take and not just be entertaining, but we try to teach you things. And so, hopefully you'll learn a little something along the way as we do this video. Now, I've already pre-drilled a hole into the side of the house, which is why we're standing behind the house. And getting a hose like this through that wall, through the outer side, all the way through the inner wall, you're going to take, and if you don't take and have some way of doing that, it's going to be a problem for you. Because when you stick that hose in there, it does this. And when you're trying to hit a very small hole with it through a wall, it can be difficult. But I got a solution to this problem. I'm going to show you this. Now what I've done is I've cut a piece of wire, and if you don't have this type of wire, even just a metal coat hanger will do. Cut a piece of that off, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick that thing right inside that. I think it must be, oh, it's bent on the end there. That would be a problem, because if it's bent on the end, it ain't going to go in that hose. But that's all we're going to do, is we're just going to stick it in there just like so. And what's going to happen, I'm going to just stick this thing up. And you notice it just passed right easily all the way through the inner wall. And it's going to make a liar out of me and be stubborn. It's going to make a wire out of it. I'm going to have to straighten that. Because you got to get that wire into the hose. Because that's going to be important. That wire is actually a little more bent than what I thought. There it goes. That's what you want to do. You want to get that wire into that hose. That's important. Look there. And just like that, it passed all the way through both the inner and outer wall. So we're going to go inside and we're going to take and do the work on the inside. All right, I'm down here on the floor, and that's a battle in of itself when you're at my age. So I got my line through the house. You see the wire still up in there. So we just pull that old wire out because we're not going to need it anymore. And I have a 3/8 by 3/8 flare coupling that we're going to use on this. And I'm going to show you a little one of those little safety things that we were talking about here in just a minute. Teflon tape. Teflon tape works very, very well for water lines. I've even used it on fuel lines on a car, automatic transmission lines, things like that. This is no good for what we're doing here. This right here will get you in trouble. It will leak. It can leak on you and cause you a lot of problems. Don't use this on gas lines. Never use Teflon tape on gas lines. What we have here is pipe dope that's specifically made for gas lines. Use this. And all we're just going to do is just put a little bit of that pipe dope on the threads right there, just like so. Because this line is way too short to get to where we're needing it to. We just thread it in there just like so, man. And we'll put a little pipe dope on this side too. Because after all, can you even see that? And because what I got is I've got a piece of hose that I'm going to connect to it. Because that metal line is way too short to reach all the way in here. If you noticed, I used a line out there with metal braiding on the outside of it, on that outside part, and there's a reason for that. When you have a gas line outside like that, you don't want to run the risk of a rat or something chewing on that thing. Well, that metal braiding on there will take and prevent rats from chewing through it and stuff. Rodents. You'd be amazed at just what all critters will get out there. Let's hit myself in the nose with the pliers too while we're at it. Because after all, what kind of a job would it be if and I'm gonna tell you, working flat on your back and trying to shoot a video is easier said than done.
Yep.
But hey, the show must go on, right? Would help if I had the pliers right. Alright, we're in business with that connection. Now just keep in mind, when you do something like this, you want to make sure you actually test these things for leaks before you start using stuff. Because again, we don't want to take and have a very bad day by blowing ourselves to the moon. So let me get my old butt up off here and up where I can work on this next connection. Alright, let's get our other line fixed up. And you notice there's this line here's yellow. That's because it's a steel line. It has to run all the way up to the low pressure regulator inside of this thing. And you don't want rubber hoses inside of a stove. That's could be a very bad thing too. This one's actually already got some pipe dope on it previously, because I hooked it up outside to for testing purposes and stuff, to make sure that this thing was going to actually work, and we had to do a few minor repairs on it before we were able to actually do anything with it. That should get it done. Now we're going to have to test these lines for leaks, and so give me just a couple minutes to A, get the gas turned on, and B, get some water together, and we're going to check these lines right quick, just make sure that there's no leaks in it before we start doing anything with it. Okay, so got my gas turned on, I got me a little bowl of water here. Old-fashioned Dawn dishwashing soap. Dishwashing soap is the best way in the world to check for gas line leaks, at least one of the best. And we're just going to get a little bit on it, and we're just going to daub that on there good. Now if you, whoops, I didn't mean to drip it on the floor. But what will happen with this soap is, I'm just going to just put a little straight soap on it. But what will happen on this gas line is, if there's a leak in here, this soap will start bubbling. Well, what does soap do when you run water in the sink? It bubbles up. Well, it'll do the same thing here if there's any sort of leaks on this fitting. So you want to daub that thing down good and get some soapy water all over it. A spray bottle with soapy water works very well for this sort of thing too. I just didn't happen to have a spray bottle handy. So I still got to get under there and check that other one. But I also want to take and kind of give you a little warning about cook stoves like this. You buy a used one, and somebody, you don't know how these people have had the stove previously to the time that you bought it, okay? And what happens is they'll put it out in the garage, under a carport, they'll cover it with a tarp, put it outside, any number of things. Well, insects, specifically dirt daubers, are a big old problem. I'm going to open this thing up so you can see this. And if you notice, that fitting right, that hole right there, that's an orifice there. And there's one for each one of these. And when we brought this thing in here, every one of these holes had dirt dauber dirt in them. They were plugged up. And it doesn't matter if it's an RV stove or a standard run-of-the-mill house oven. Dirt daubers will get in there, and it can cause you a lot of problems. We had to take every one of these burners apart and go in there and clean all that dirt out of there. Just a little tidbit for you if you get something like this. If you notice, I got a brand new regulator right there too. Ease that back there just like so, because I still need to daub it down with some water. I replaced this regulator here because it was not getting gas through it also. And I ain't gonna lie, finding one of these regulators like this is a little easier said than done. I wound up finding that one from an eBay vendor, and then none of the fittings were the same size. The old one had 1/4 inch. This one has 3/8, which is why you've got these brass fittings here. So we've checked our gas fittings. Let's see what the heck happened. Oops. Am I turning the right one? That says left front. It may just take a, there it goes. It just took a little time for all that gas to get from the tank out there to the burner. So what we're going to do now is we're going to prop this up on some cinder blocks, because I still have to build a box to take and go under it. I want to elevate it up so it's even with this countertop. Cinder blocks wasn't tall enough, and well, to be honest with you, cinder blocks just doesn't look that good. But it's a quick temporary fix until I can get up here and build a nice little enclosure for this whole thing to set on. So I hope you learned a little something here today about hooking these things up. Now I still have to test out the oven and make sure the oven's going to actually work, or we're going to have problems with it too. I honestly don't know yet. But hey, we appreciate our viewers. We love you. We appreciate you tuning in. And hopefully you learned a little something today. And so, until next time, remember to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell when we put out a new video, give us a thumbs up, maybe leave a little comment down in the description. And those simple little things will help to promote the channel and get our message out there. We love you, we appreciate you watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.